welcome to the deep dive. You know, we always dive deep into all sorts of fascinating topics, but today we thought, why not try something a little different?
Okay.
And deep dive into you.
Oh, cool.
Our amazing listeners.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So before we get started, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, definitely do that.
And drop us a comment.
Yes.
What are you curious about?
Yeah, what are you curious about?
What topics would you love to hear us explore in future deep dives?
Yes, please let us know.
We're all ears.
Yeah, we really mean it.
Speaking of curiosity.
Yeah.
We've been noticing a recurring theme in your questions and comments.
Okay.
A lot of you are really intrigued by the world of microservices, distributed systems, and all the challenges that come with building these complex applications.
Yeah. It's a fascinating area.
It is, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
It's a rapidly evolving landscape.
It is.
And it can be quite daunting to navigate.
It can be, yeah.
But there's this really cool open source project called
Dapr,
which stands for Distributed Application Runtime.
Okay.
That's designed to make this whole process a lot smoother.
So it helps with the dauntingness.
Exactly. So Dap.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, so Dap, big deal. It's, well, imagine you're building a house.
Okay.
You could try to craft every single brick and beam yourself.
Right.
Or you could use prefabricated components that make the construction process much faster and more efficient.
Makes sense.
Dapr is kind of like that for microservices.
Okay.
It provides these building blocks.
Yeah.
Think of them as pre-built tools that address common challenges in microservice development.
So instead of reinventing the wheel every time, developers can use these Dapr-ize building blocks to handle things like communication between services, managing data, and even dealing with those tricky actors I keep hearing about.
Oh, yeah. The actors.
Wait, actors?
Yeah.
Are we talking Hollywood here?
Not quite, no. In this context, actors are a way of designing systems where independent units of code, these actors, can receive instructions, process them, and remember their own little piece of information.
So it's like having a team of specialists.
Exactly.
Each responsible for their own task.
Yeah, like a little specialist team.
And Dapr makes it super easy to build and manage these actors.
It does, yeah.
So developers don't have to get bogged down in the nitty-gritty details.
Right, that takes care of all that.
Got it.
Yeah.
So Dapr simplifies building microservices.
It does.
But does it lock you into a specific programming language?
That's a good question.
Because let's be honest, us developers have our favorites.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah, so does it?
Well, that's the beauty of Dapr.
Okay.
It's language agnostic. So whether you're a Python aficionado, a JavaScript guru, a Go enthusiast, or a .NET ninja, Dapr welcomes you with open arms.
I like it.
It's all about giving developers flexibility and choice.
Okay, I'm sold on the concept.
Okay, good.
But how does this magic actually work?
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Dapr's secret sauce lies in its sidecar model.
Okay, sidecar model.
Yeah, so picture this.
Okay.
For every instance of your microservice, Dapr runs a separate process alongside it.
Okay.
Like a trusty sidekick.
I like that analogy.
The sidecar handles all the communication and integration with the various Dapr building blocks.
So it's like my microservice has its own personal assistant.
Exactly.
Handling all the grunt work.
Yeah.
Letting it focus on the important stuff.
That's the idea.
I like it.
Good.
But wouldn't that make things complicated?
Potentially.
If I'm running my application in different environments.
Okay, yeah.
Like on my local machine, in the cloud, or in a container orchestration system like Kubernetes.
Right.
Would that be a problem?
Well, that's where Dapr's portability shines.
Okay.
The sidecar model ensures that your application, along with its Dap sidekick, can be seamlessly moved between these different environments without any major hiccups.
So it just works.
It just works.
All right, so we've established that Dap simplifies things and offers flexibility.
We have.
But what about new features?
Okay.
Is the Dap-ize constantly innovating and adding cool new stuff?
They are, yes.
They are?
All the time.
So what's new?
Well, in their latest release, version 1.14, they introduced a game-changing feature called streaming subscriptions.
Streaming subscriptions.
Which revolutionizes how applications handle messages in a pub-sub system.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Pub-sub.
Yeah.
Streaming subscriptions.
Yes.
Can you break that down for me?
I can.
Okay.
So imagine you're at a bustling conference And there are multiple breakout sessions happening simultaneously in the traditional pub-sub model.
Yeah.
It's like being bombarded with information from all these sessions at once, whether you're interested or not.
I've been there.
But with streaming subscriptions, you get to choose which sessions you want to attend.
Okay.
And control the pace at which you receive information.
So it's all about giving the application more control.
Exactly.
And preventing it from being overwhelmed with messages.
That's the idea.
I can see how that would be super valuable.
It is, yeah.
Especially in systems that process a lot of data.
Right.
Okay, so what else is new in DAP 1.14?
Well, another really neat feature is called outbox projections.
Outbox projections.
Which takes the already powerful outbox pattern to a whole new level.
Now remind me.
Yeah.
What is the outbox pattern again?
So the outbox pattern, it's all about ensuring that when your application makes changes to its data and needs to tell other parts of the system about those changes, both the data update and the notification happen in a synchronized manner.
So they happen together?
They do.
Okay.
It's like having a fail-safe mechanism that prevents data inconsistencies.
Right. So if something goes wrong with either the data update or the notification, everything gets rolled back.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like a safety net for data integrity.
Got it.
Yeah.
So how do outbox projections enhance this?
Okay. So with outbox projections, you can essentially customize the information that gets sent out as a notification. Instead of just blindly forwarding the entire data change.
Right.
You can pick and choose the specific bits of information that are relevant to the recipients.
So it's like sending a tailored summary instead of a bulky report.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I could see how that would improve efficiency.
It does.
And potentially even security by limiting the exposure of sensitive data.
It's all about giving developers more control.
Yeah.
And making their lives easier.
I like that.
Yeah.
This all sounds incredibly powerful.
It is.
But I'm sure some of our listeners are thinking, okay, this is all great, but where do I even begin with DAP?
Right.
It sounds pretty complex.
Well, the good news is that the DAP community is incredibly welcoming and supportive.
That's good to hear.
So the Dapr-ize website, cap.io,
Dapr-ize,
is a fantastic starting point. They have excellent documentation, quick start guides, and a very active community forum where you can connect with other Dapr enthusiasts and get your questions answered.
So it's a good place to start.
It is.
And if you're more of a visual learner, they even have a YouTube channel with some great introductory videos.
Oh, cool.
Plus, they host an annual conference called DAPCon.
DAPCon.
Where you can learn from the experts and dive deep into the world of Dapr.
Sounds fun.
We'll make sure to include a link to the DAPCon website in the show notes.
Awesome.
And don't forget about the Dapr CLI tool.
Oh, yeah, the CL.
It's like having a Swiss Army knife.
I like it.
For managing your Dapr environment.
Yeah, it's very useful.
You can initialize Dapr, run your applications with a Dapr sidecar, and even manage your Dapr components all from the command line.
Very handy.
So no more wrestling with complex configuration files.
Well, there will always be some configuration involved, but the CLI makes it much more streamlined and user-friendly.
This is all fantastic information.
Good.
But let's take a quick detour. And explore a specific use case for Dapr. That really caught our eye. We came across this fascinating example involving smart light bulbs.
Smart light bulbs,
And how Dapr was used to build a scalable and resilient system to manage them.
Interesting.
So this example is a perfect illustration of the power of Dapr's actor model.
Right.
Each light bulb is treated as an independent actor with its own state and behavior.
So like its own little brain that controls the light.
Imagine being able to control the color, brightness, and even scheduling of millions of light bulbs individually. All through a distributed system.
Wow, that's a lot of light bulbs.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah, millions.
That's a lot of light bulbs.
It is.
We're talking citywide illumination here.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Times Square.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is where Dap truly shines.
It does.
It handles the complexity of distributing those actors across multiple servers, managing their state, and ensuring that communication between them is reliable and efficient.
That's right.
Even at that scale.
Even with millions of light bulbs.
Okay, I can see how that would be amazing.
It is, yeah.
For smart cities.
Yeah.
Or large buildings.
Right.
With thousands of connected devices. But what about for us regular folks?
Okay.
Who might not have millions of light bulbs to manage?
Yeah, good question.
Can DAP still be beneficial?
Absolutely.
It can, even for smaller applications.
Yeah, even if you're building a smaller scale application,
Okay.
Dapr can still provide significant benefits.
How so?
Well, it can simplify your development process, make your application more resilient, and help you avoid writing a lot of boilerplate code.
Got it.
Regardless of the size of your project.
So Dapr is not just for the big players.
Right.
It's for anyone who wants to build robust and scalable distributed systems.
Exactly.
All right, let's pause here for now.
Okay.
When we come back in part 2,
all right,
we'll dive into some real-world examples of how companies are using Dapr in production.
Okay, I'm excited.
To solve real business problems.
Looking forward to it.
Stay tuned.
See you then, thinking. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
It's fascinating to see how a seemingly niche technology like Dapr can actually have sort of broad impact.
Yeah, we've established that Dapr simplifies microservice development and offers a ton of flexibility. But now I'm really curious to see how this translates into real-world applications.
Yeah.
What kind of companies are actually using Dapr out there in the wild?
Yeah, what kind of companies are actually using this?
Well, one company that's been making waves with Dapr is Dapr-ize.
Dapr-ize.
They're a software company that specializes in cloud-native technologies.
Okay.
And they've really embraced Dapr as a core part of their development strategy.
So they're all in on Dapr.
Yeah, they're really using it a lot.
What's particularly interesting about Dapr-ize's use of Dapr is the sheer diversity of their applications.
Yeah, they're using it for everything.
Like what?
From building serverless platforms to managing complex workflows.
Okay.
And even tackling challenges in the IoT space.
So they're really putting it through its paces.
They are.
Let's start with their serverless work.
Okay.
One of the biggest hurdles in serverless architectures is managing the scaling of applications as demand fluctuates.
Right, because you need to be able to scale up and down quickly. Dapr-ize cleverly used Dapr's shared deployment model, known as Dapr Shared, to overcome this challenge.
Okay, so instead of having a Dapr sidecar for each instance of their application, which could get really resource intensive.
It could.
As the application scales up, they have a shared pool of Dapr instances that multiple applications can tap into.
Exactly. It's a much more efficient approach.
So it's like a public transportation system.
Yeah. I like that.
Instead of everyone driving their own car.
Much more efficient.
Much more efficient when you have unpredictable peaks and valleys in demand.
That's a great analogy.
And this kind of efficiency translates directly into cost savings.
It does.
Which is always a major consideration for businesses.
Always.
Okay, so Dapr is helping Dapr-ize build efficient and cost-effective serverless solutions.
It is.
But you mentioned they're also using it in the IoT space.
Right.
Now, that's a whole different beast.
It is.
How does Dapr fit into that picture?
Well, Dapr has been collaborating with a company called Hyperion.
Hyperion.
Which specializes in smart lighting and IoT solutions for smart cities.
Smart cities.
Think intelligent streetlights that can adjust their brightness based on real-time traffic conditions.
Wow.
Detect accidents and even contribute to energy savings.
That's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It's pretty cool.
I'm picturing a city that lights up dynamically.
Yeah.
Responding to the ebb and flow of life.
It's an exciting vision.
It is.
And Dapr is playing a key role in making it a reality.
How so?
Hyperion is leveraging Dapr's actor model to represent each individual light as an actor.
So each light has its own little brain.
Yeah, it's like the smart light bulb example we discussed earlier. But on a massive scale.
Millions of light bulbs.
Exactly.
Each light is like a tiny independent agent communicating and coordinating with others through Dapr. And Dapr's ability to handle millions of actors across a distributed system makes it a perfect fit for these types of large-scale IoT deployments.
It does.
It's really impressive to see how this technology is enabling the development of smart cities.
It is.
And transforming urban environments.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've seen how Dapr is using Dapr for serverless and IoT.
We have.
What other innovative use cases did they explore?
Well, one area where they really push the boundaries is in workflow management.
Workflow management.
They've been using Dapr's workflow capabilities to orchestrate complex, long-running processes that involve multiple microservices working together.
Workflows. Those sound incredibly complicated.
They can be.
Aren't those the things that business analysts use to map out all the steps and decision points in a process?
Yeah, that's one way to think about it.
Okay.
But Dapr makes them surprisingly manageable.
Oh, okay.
It provides a way to define your workflows in a way that's clear and easy to understand without having to write tons of code.
So instead of getting lost in a maze of code, developers can focus on describing the steps and dependencies of the workflow in a more human-readable way.
Exactly.
That sounds like a major productivity boost.
It is.
And Dapr takes care of all the behind-the-scenes work.
It does.
Of managing the state of the workflow, retrying failed steps, and ensuring that the entire process completes reliably.
All the hard stuff.
That's impressive.
It is.
It sounds like Dapr is taking on some of the most challenging aspects of distributed systems development and abstracting them away so developers can focus on the business logic.
That's the goal.
And this is why Dapr is gaining so much traction.
Yeah, people are really starting to see its value.
It empowers developers to focus on innovation and solving business problems. Rather than getting bogged down in infrastructure details.
Nobody wants to do that.
All right, so we've seen how Diagrid is leveraging Dapr across a really diverse set of use cases.
We have.
What other real-world examples did we come across in our research?
Well, another company that's been singing Dapr's praises is Dapr-ize.
Dapr-ize.
A leading provider of scientific informatics solutions.
Scientific informatics.
They're using Dapr to build platforms for drug discovery and scientific research.
That sounds incredibly complex and important.
It is.
So Dapr is contributing to the development of life-saving drugs.
It is.
And advancements in scientific research.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
It shows that Dapr is not just a tool for building trendy microservices, but a technology with real-world impact in critical domains.
Exactly.
Okay, let's shift gears for a moment
and
talk about some of the practical considerations for adopting Dapr.
All right, good idea.
While it sounds amazing, I'm sure there are some challenges.
There are.
And things that developers and organizations should be aware of before diving in.
Yeah, it's not a silver bullet.
So what are some of the things to watch out for?
Well, one important consideration is that Dapr is still a relatively young project. While it has matured significantly in recent releases.
There might be some rough edges or limitations that you'll need to work around.
So it's not quite a plug-and-play solution.
Not entirely.
There might be some tweaking and customization required to make it fit specific needs.
But the good news is that the Dapr community is incredibly active and supportive.
Okay, that's good.
If you run into any issues, chances are someone else has already encountered them and can offer guidance.
So you're not alone.
No, you're not alone.
The community is one of Dapr's greatest strengths.
It really is.
Another aspect to consider is that Dapr introduces an additional layer of abstraction on top of your existing infrastructure. This can be beneficial in terms of portability and simplifying development.
It can.
But it also requires a shift in thinking and some upfront investment in learning the Dapr concepts and tools.
That's true.
So there's a learning curve involved.
Yeah, there is.
But the payoff is worth it in terms of increased productivity and application robustness.
I believe so. Okay, one last question that's probably on everyone's mind.
Security.
Security.
Right.
Is Dapr secure?
Good question.
Because when you're dealing with distributed systems, especially in sensitive domains like scientific research or smart cities, security is paramount.
It is.
So tell me about security.
You're absolutely right. Security is a top priority for the Dapr team. They've built in a number of security features, including mutual TLS authentication, encryption at rest, and integration with various secret stores.
So it sounds like Dapr provides a solid foundation.
It does.
For building secure distributed systems.
Yeah, they take security very seriously.
But as with any technology, it's essential to implement security best practices.
Of course.
And configure Dapr appropriately for your specific environment.
Security is a shared responsibility.
Dapr provides the tools, but it's up to the developers to use them wisely.
And follow security best practices.
This has been a fascinating exploration of Dapr in action.
It has.
We've seen how companies like Diagrid and Dapr-ize are leveraging Dapr to build innovative solutions. Across a wide range of industries.
Yeah, very impressive.
When we come back in part 3, we'll wrap things up and gaze into the future of Dapr and the world of distributed systems.
Looking forward to it.
Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
We've journeyed deep into the world of Dapr.
We have.
Exploring its capabilities, its real-world applications, and even some of the considerations for adopting it.
It's been a great deep dive so far.
But now I'm curious.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for Dapr?
That's a great question.
What trends are emerging that might shape its evolution?
Okay.
And what possibilities are on the horizon for this exciting technology?
Yeah, let's put on our prognosticator hats.
Exactly.
Well, one trend that's impossible to ignore is the rise of hybrid and multi-cloud architectures.
Hybrid and multi-cloud?
Yeah. Organizations are no longer limiting themselves to a single cloud provider.
Right. They want the flexibility to choose the best services from different providers.
Okay.
And even combine them with their own on-premise infrastructure.
So it's not just about cloud or no cloud anymore.
Right.
But rather which clouds and how do we make them all work together seamlessly.
Exactly. It's all about flexibility and choice.
And this is where Dapr's portability becomes a superpower.
It does.
Because it provides a consistent set of APIs and building blocks.
Right.
Developers can build their applications once.
Yeah.
And deploy them anywhere. Whether it's on-premise in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, or even at the edge.
That's right. It's all about avoiding vendor lock-in.
Exactly.
And having the freedom to choose the best platform for your needs.
So Dapr acts as this universal translator.
I like that analogy.
Enabling applications to speak the same language regardless of where they're running.
It's like the Esperanto of distributed systems.
Oh. Another trend that's poised to shake things up is the growing adoption of WebAssembly or WASM.
Oh, yeah. WASM is really taken off. You might be familiar with WASM as a technology for running code in web browsers.
Right. It started in the browser.
But it's rapidly expanding beyond the browser.
It is.
And becoming a platform-agnostic runtime.
Yeah. It's becoming ubiquitous.
For all sorts of applications.
So you're telling me I could write code once?
Yeah.
And run it in my web browser, on a server, and even on a tiny IoT device, all thanks to WASM.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That sounds amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
Like a developer's dream come true.
And the Dapr team is keenly aware of WASM's potential.
They are.
They're actively exploring ways to integrate WASM into the Dapr runtime.
It's a natural fit.
Which could unlock a whole new level of portability and efficiency.
It could.
For building distributed applications. Imagine being able to write your microservices in any language that compiles to WASM.
Yeah.
And then deploy them anywhere without worrying about the underlying operating system or infrastructure.
True freedom and flexibility for developers.
It's a powerful vision, and one that the Dapr community is enthusiastically working towards.
It's an exciting time to be involved with Dapr.
Okay, hybrid cloud and WASM, two major forces shaping the future of Dapr. What else is on the horizon?
Well, as the world becomes increasingly interconnected, edge computing is rapidly gaining momentum.
Edge computing. Okay.
We're seeing more and more devices and sensors deployed at the edge.
Okay.
Closer to where data is generated and actions need to be taken.
Like what kind of devices?
Think self-driving cars, drones, smart factories, and even remote healthcare monitoring.
So edge computing is all about real-time responsiveness.
Exactly.
And bringing computation closer to the action.
It's about reducing latency and improving efficiency.
It's fascinating to see how this is transforming industries and enabling entirely new possibilities.
It is.
And Dapr, with its lightweight runtime and focus on portability, is well suited for edge deployments.
Yeah, it's a perfect match.
I anticipate a surge of innovation in this space, with Dapr playing a pivotal role.
I agree.
In enabling robust and scalable distributed systems at the edge.
Dapr at the edge, it's going to be big.
Okay, last question.
That's right.
And it's a big one.
Okay.
What's your bold prediction for Dapr in the next year or two?
My bold prediction.
Yeah, what's the crystal ball telling you?
Well, based on its current trajectory and the growing excitement surrounding it, I believe Dapr is on the verge of becoming the de facto standard.
The de facto standard.
For building cloud-native applications.
Wow, that's a big prediction.
I think it's going to happen.
So if developers want to future-proof their skills and stay ahead of the curve, they should definitely add Dapr to their toolkit.
Absolutely.
It's not just a trendy technology.
No, it's much more than that.
It's a fundamental shift in how we build and deploy distributed systems.
It's a new way of thinking about distributed applications.
This deep dive into Dapr has been incredibly insightful.
It has.
We've covered so much ground, from its fundamental concepts and real-world applications to its future potential.
And we couldn't have done it without you, our amazing listeners.
Exactly. This entire episode was inspired by you.
Your curiosity, your questions, and your suggestions are what drive us.
To explore these fascinating topics and share these discoveries with you.
So please keep those comments and questions coming.
Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
And let us know what you'd like us to deep dive into next.
We're always eager to embark on new adventures.
Yeah.
In the world of knowledge and technology.
So until next time, keep those minds curious.
And stay tuned for more exciting deep dives